Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just going to start right out and say I lied. Just a little lie, but not a big lie. An inconsequential lie. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I dropped a short video earlier today completely in working from home, casual wear, and I thought I was going to be working from home all day and have zero client appointments. But turns out sometimes you get appointments last second. And so I am now dressed. So if you were expecting me to still be casual with my beanie on and my black hat and black jacket and everything, I apologize, but I promise this is still the same day. I'm recording both of these and posting both of these on YouTube on the same day. So here we go. I want to talk a little bit about how the market has looked the last 30 days. So basically January of 2023. And we're going to talk a little bit about where it's headed versus December of 2022 and why the stats are what they are. And we'll talk a little bit about where I personally think, looking at all the data, where the market's headed here for the spring. So let's just dive right in. I have an extra screen over here. So if you see me looking this way, it's just because I'm looking at my notes and looking at my data over here on my big screen. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking over here. By the way, if you like my content, I'll just go out and say it. I'm not going to be shy. Subscribe to my channel. Come back often. I try to update shorts and short videos daily as much as I can, and I give good content like this on a weekly basis. So, but I'm also open to questions and comments as well as suggestions of what you might like to hear. I concentrate mainly on the Orange County area of California and my local area of Rancho Santa Margarita and the surrounding cities, but I'm happy to create custom content for other parts of California if you have a question about other parts of Orange County and Southern California. So let's just dive right in. We're going to talk about what the market has done the last 30 days, so throughout this January of 2023, just here in Orange County, and I'll give some other data for some other select cities. So overall, the Orange County market saw 800 new listings hit the market. Now, this is not homes that were on the market and still active, but they went active before January 1st, but they actually went active between January 1st and today in 2023. So we had 800 new homes hit the market. There were a little over 1,020 closed transactions in the last 30 days in Orange County. The average days on market was 44 days. And the average sales price of all of Orange County and all these 1,020 listings was $1.3 million. That sounds pretty darn good for January, which is the dead zone, essentially, in our industry, in real estate, especially with what you've heard and seen with the market for the last 4 to 6 months with interest rates and everything, and where the market has been going. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. To pick that apart a little bit, I'll give you some local knowledge here. I live in Rancho Santa Margarita. We only had 25 new listings hit in January. 22 closed transactions in January, about 47 days on market. So we're a little behind the pace in days on market. And our average sales price for the closed transactions of January, $873,000. A little less than the rest of Orange County. But there's some other stuff I can go into, and at another time and place, I'll record another video that gets into more depth between first-time home buyer and the different price points and luxury home pricing and how that kind of mixes together. But we'll break it out into more detail in each individual price point. That'll come probably later this week. Now, if you're familiar with the Mission Viejo area of Orange County, they saw 26 new listings, 51 sold listings, about 45 days on market, so similar to where the rest of Orange County is, and $923,000 was the average sales price. Let's look at Ladera Ranch. Ladera Ranch, smaller community. It's a little over 7,000 homes, maybe close to 8,000 homes total. They saw 9 new listings. They had 14 closed listings. 51 days on market was the average. But here's the kicker, 1.4 million was their average sales price. So they're kind of bringing up the curve for all of Orange County. They're one of those areas kind of bringing up. Now, if we look at Rancho Mission Viejo, which is just beyond Ladera Ranch, a smaller community today and a newer community, it's still being built out. They're in lots of different phases, but kind of opened in around 2015. So 6-7 years old across all phases. They saw 13 new listings and 13 closed listings. Their days on market, however, is about 70 days on market. So that means these listings that closed in January were listed in late October, early November, and just closing sometime in January. They did close for a price of about $936,000 on average. So they're not doing too bad. And lastly, I'll talk about Coto de Casa, which is kind of our high-end gated area here, right in between all these areas that I'm talking about. Coto de Casa saw 15 new listings hit the market in the last 30 days. Only 4 closed. However, about 65 days on market on average, but their sold price on average was $2 million. Pretty nice area. So I can break this down for a lot of different cities all over California, Orange County. It doesn't matter where we're at. If you have a request for a specific one, again, I'm happy to tackle that for you. But let's go back to the all of Orange County. So again, all of Orange County saw 800 new listings hit the market and 1,020 sell. Let's go back to December of 2022, just the 30 days prior, and let's kind of put these numbers together and see how this all looks, how this goes together. So if I go back to December, I will see that there were 1,344 closed transactions in December. Average days on market was 37, with about a $1.2 million average close price. Now you're saying, wow, December is usually really slow. How'd that happen? Well, you have to keep in mind that a lot of these homes were listed end of October, mid to end of October, and are closing in December before the holidays. A lot of this stuff gets crammed in there before the holiday sets in because a lot of people pull their homes off. So it was that last rush of homes, of people hitting fourth quarter, and they're like, if I'm going to sell my home now, I'm going to get it on the market September, October, because I don't want it going on the market in November or December, for the most part. So that's where you have 1,344 closings. And then we go back, and I'll tell you how many homes actually got listed in December. Sorry, it's a little bit of a thing here for me. And only 51 homes were listed in the month of December. That's kind of crazy. So 1,344 closed. So the majority of those you can see were homes that were listed in October and November that finally closed in December. And if you look at the 1,020 homes that closed in January, that was still the remnants of October, November, and probably even some from September. I mean, you average out all the days on market and it's 44, 45. But you got to know that some of them are a lot longer. Some of them were quicker. So you only had 51 homes hit the market in December. Yet, what did I tell you that we've had in the last 30 days in January hit the market? 800. That's a significant increase, right? Kind of nutty. And you know what? I was wrong on that. I hit the wrong button. Give me 1 second here. Sorry, this is live. I'm not going to edit this out. You guys can see that people make mistakes. Okay, I apologize. It wasn't 51 homes that hit the market in all of Orange County in December. It was 344. It's still a huge difference between 344 and 800. You're looking at about 115, 120% increase in listings from what is typically a pretty dead month. January is usually really low, but that's a huge increase in homes hitting the market from 344 to 800. Now, what does all this mean? Well, A lot of this has to do with the fact that interest rates, even though they went up to close to 7% just a few months ago, they've been steadily ticking down, just incrementally, not a whole lot. And now there's a lot of programs out there that you're just over 6%. So they've come down quite a bit in small increments over the last couple months. And that is spurring people now going, hey, I think the spring is going to be pretty hot and pretty competitive again. I may want to get my home on the market now in January or February because the buyers are still out there. Interest rates are coming down. While we think they're going to go down just a little bit more going into March, April, and May, our spring selling, which is our hottest time, there's no guarantee. So the buyers are out there right now. People are starting to say, hey, I should go ahead and maybe think about listing my home here in January, February before spring. I want it on the market. Maybe I can start catching lightning in a bottle like we saw a year and a half, 2 years ago. And we're going to recreate that cycle again. I think it's going to be a really good spring and summer based on what I'm seeing right now and all the data available. I don't quite think we're going to see 2020, 2021 market, but I think it's going to be a lot better than the last half of 2022, just simply because jobs are stabilizing. Those reports are great. The economy, regardless of what you think about inflation, the economy is chugging along pretty darn good. Again, regardless of inflation, it's chugging along pretty good. Jobs are good. When the Fed raises or lowers rates, always remember that impacts short-term bonds and short-term loans first. So your credit cards, your cars, HELOCs, things like that. A lot of times the banks, when they see the job growth and the economy strong, even though the Fed may raise the rate, banks will hold or sometimes even drop, and we've seen that happen on the 30-year yields because they see the overall picture. They don't just have a knee-jerk reaction to what the Fed does. Credit cards, totally up and down with whatever the Fed says. Cars, up and down with whatever the Fed says, because it's short-term money. It's a lot riskier, and you're not backed by real estate. It's a totally different thing. That's what I've got for you right now. Again, if you've got any questions at all or comments, drop them below. I'll be happy to address them on my next video. And I will later this week do another more comprehensive video detailing the different price points between first-time home buyer, condos, attached, detached, luxury. And we'll get into a deeper dive, and that'll be a longer video to give you an idea of what each segment is doing, so that if you're looking to buy or sell in a specific segment, maybe the plan is a little different for you. So I hope that helps. Hope you enjoy. Hope it's good information for you to know that it's not doom and gloom. It's very optimistic right now, and we're going to ride the wave again. I just have a huge feeling about that. Take care.